different tabs that you'll see when you log in, which would be My IXL, Learning, Assessment, and Analytics. We're just going to give a brief overview so that you kind of have some background knowledge when you take this into your classroom. We're going to learn how to assign skills, lessons, and games to your students, search the grade level strands and standards for what specifically meets your needs, and you get to choose and design an appropriate skill plan that aligns with your textbook curriculum.
So we're going to start with the Learning tab. So if you want to look on your device in the Learning tab, just making sure that you're there.
Is that here? Right there.
Yes, right there. And if you hover over it, it kind of opens up the first bar. So just stop.
So we're going to be focusing on math and language arts, so you get to pick one, whatever is most convenient with your content level.
Well, question.
Yes.
So we've only purchased the math and the language arts, so there's no science or social studies available to. Oh, okay.
No. Maybe in the future.
Right. Yeah.
But right now you get to choose if you'd rather focus on math skills or language arts skills, but you can click on either one of those.
So go ahead and do that.
And that will bring you here. Here you get to choose, so whether I teach first grade or fifth grade, I get to choose what level of skill I want my students to focus on.
So if you scroll, you'll see.
So if you scroll, it goes all the way down.
In fourth grade, and you can click on all the skills.
But if you go all the way up, of course, I'm going to focus on first grade, so I can click see all 272 skills, so obviously a lot to choose from. Here you can keep on scrolling, and all of these skills are already in IXL for you. Choose from. If you hover over the name of one of the skills, it will show you a little preview of what that skill will look like for the student, and you can see what kind of questions they're asked, what level thinking questions they are, so you can kind of just browse. There's a lot to look over.
Yeah, and if you also, if you also look at where, if you have assigned a skill already and your students have kind of tried a little bit, you can see the little green kind of bar graph comes up to the side, and that shows you as the teacher when you're scanning to look for a strand that your students have already shown progress in that skill, they've worked on it. So it's pretty cool, let you know as you're scanning through.
So if I clicked on that first math skill, counting review up to 10, this is what it would look like for my students. I love this feature in first grade because a lot of my students are not readers yet. So I can click on the little audio button, and they can also click on it, and they have the question read aloud to them. If you click on first grade.
Pointing out to the SMART score, this is something that you as a teacher can set verbally with your students. So if you are saying, we want our SMART goal to be 80, in small group work or something where students are individually working on this, you can say, set kind of when you get to 80 SMART scores, stop, or you can tell them to get all the way to 100%, but that's really up to you as the teacher.
I like how it, when you miss one, it shows them step by step.
Yes, absolutely.
And when they get to 80 on the SMART score, it will show them a little ribbon, you earned one ribbon. If they keep going to 90, it gives them 2 ribbons, so they can kind of monitor that progress on their own.
And it's really kind of like an incentive-based thing too, that really fires them up. And this is kind of something we've explored, the group jam. A lot of teachers don't know about this just yet, but this group jam is where you can kind of start like a live interaction with your students. So say you're wanting to introduce fractions. You can start with, a basic strand on fractions and put a group jam live, and the students are tuning in with you, and it paces you. So if you're starting on one problem, they're all going to see the exact same problem, whereas if they were working individually, they would be generating problems different from one another. So that kind of is similar to some different programs you may have used, like quizzes or Kahoot. So it's pretty cool. One thing that you can do is actually go into those skill plans, and this is an example of how you can pin your skill plan. So take a second just to look at what skill plans that IXL offers. There is a bunch. I have pinned just a couple that we use. Our South Carolina State Standards, you see our textbooks, but there's a bunch that you can use yourself.
Another tab at the top that you'll see in that green bar is assessment. If you'll just click on that, that's what we're going to be focusing on next. In that assessment tab, you're going to get real-time diagnostic data about your students, and they will enter the arena is what they call it. But it's just a good way for you at any time to get good information about where are my students at, how are they progressing.
Yeah.
So if you go to just that assessment tab and you click, there's the arena. So it's supposed to be like a game for the students. They come here and you can view it obviously by student. You can narrow it down, but it gives you a good breakdown of where they are on each band of skills.
Yeah, so down at the bottom you can see where it says print diagnostic action plan. Like you said, this is definitely a wonderful tool that you can use in parent conferences. Printing that out and giving them this feedback, because a lot of times, you know, if they're at home with their student on IXL, they may not really even understand what the program is. You know, they don't really have time to figure that out. So this is something that can really help you break down those skills and really show the parents, you know, your student is progressing in this area, or we really need to work on this area. So it really just kind of gives them that real-time data for them as well at home. So we're going to be talking about analytics. So if you look underneath the analytics tab, it'll kind of show you a wide variety of the components that the analytics provides. So we're going to talk about the quick summary. How can we quickly look into our students' data, as well as their scores on certain strands that we are giving them, as well as are they making progress in those areas. I really do like this, that if you're kind of towards the middle half of our school year, which we are, really just a good stop point to check in. Where are my students with state standards? So when I start to look at those things, I can really kind of make that adjustment as needed on specific skills. So before you go, we thank you so much for coming. We're so excited just to help you get jump started with this program. We know that it can always be a little bit difficult getting started in a new program and getting your students comfortable with it as you're trying to get comfortable with it. So we are in your shoes with you. So if you need any help further than today, we would love to reach out and to help you. Okay.
And when you sign in, it will bring you to a Google form, and then we will also give you access to a Google Drive folder full of this presentation and other resources that will help you as well.